Yeah, it's counting up, so should be all right. Okay, right, so yeah, so it records the screen, records everything that we say.
Yeah.
This is what we give you a copy of tomorrow, so you don't need to try and remember any of this stuff. All right, it's just kind of go along with it for today, okay?
Yeah.
So, what do you think is the main thing that's holding you back in the water? What do you think it is that I'm going to talk about?
Rotation, buoyancy,
Okay. Yeah.
reach. Probably all elements really. But actually, I'm probably getting more tired doing that than I should do, so it doesn't
Okay.
feel as relaxed. So therefore, I'm probably sinking in the water, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. So there's two main things really, and they're with swimming. What you get is kind of almost like a kind of a stroke correction hierarchy where there's some key big faults that people have, which cause a load of other minor faults.
Yeah.
All right. And yeah, you do have some of these minor faults, but my job is to look for the kind of the big ones,
Of course, yeah.
which cause this kind. It's almost like a chain reaction
Yes.
of things that happen.
Yeah.
All right. And yes, the main thing you have is that your body position is low in the water, which we'll have a look at in a second.
Yeah.
So what we look at is what's causing that,
Yeah.
and that's a load of other faults, which when we address those, it'll all start pulling the stroke together.
Okay.
Now, one thing that is something we certainly need to look at is your stroke rate.
Okay.
So it's literally the rate that your arms turn.
Too
over.
slow.
Too slow. You see, your stroke rate is 51 strokes a minute. Now you're a big guy, you've got big arms, so I wouldn't expect it to be particularly high. Smaller people with smaller arms can obviously turn them over a bit quicker, and that's as simple as that really when
Yeah.
it comes to swimming sometimes. But 51 is low. And what will happen with someone like yourself, if the catch unless the catch is really effective,
Yeah.
then you lose momentum. And you start to lose momentum, and then you start to
Go dead,
You
as
start
it
to
were.
kind of,
Yeah.
you just start to sink down a little bit.
Okay.
So we need to look at, and again, stroke rate is something which we can normally fix by adjusting other things. So the other thing would be your breathing.
Yeah.
You're holding your breath when you
Yes.
swim.
I know.
Okay, that makes you lift your head.
Yeah.
That affects the timing of your stroke. That
Yeah.
makes the stroke slower.
Yeah.
Lifting your head makes the legs drop. So it's the main things for you are getting the stroke rate up, getting the breathing sorted out,
Yeah.
and those two things combined will help lift your body up. So those two faults will fix, or
Yeah.
certainly go towards fixing
Yeah.
the main fault, which is holding you back in the water, which is the drag caused by coming through the water like this. Okay.
Right. Okay.
And so I'll demonstrate that to you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It does.
Okay,
Yeah.
so-
yeah.
Let's have a look then, see what we've got. So standard kind of poolside view first of all then. So it actually looks nice and smooth actually, nice and rhythmical. You're breathing just on the left hand side there.
Yeah. I try and do bilateral, but
You struggle on the right here.
struggling. Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's just take that back a little bit. Let's just take it back till we get over the water. Now you actually don't see a huge amount from this angle. You see what I'm looking at from this side is the head position, which
Yeah.
again we'll see more of when you come back the other
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
But you can see how much of the back of your head you can see,
Yeah.
and your head is lifted. Okay, you're lifted up.
Yeah.
So we'll have a closer look at that in a minute.
Yeah.
So the arm is recovering over the water, and because you're still, what's happening here? Because you're kind of effectively over breathing and you're holding your breath, what happens is rather than breathing in and then out, and then in and out, is you're breathing in, holding your breath, and then you're breathing out and in, and what that does is you're spending too long on your side effectively,
Yeah.
which means your recovering arm has to kind of overtake your head when your head should be back in by this point,
Oh, okay.
you know.
Yeah.
And it just, what it actually physically does is you're holding air in your lungs,
Yeah.
makes your lungs float, makes your upper body, physically makes your upper body
Oh,
float,
okay, yeah.
which anything at the front of the body pulls it up, makes
Yeah.
the legs drop. So
Yeah.
lifting the head, air in the chest, pulls the front end up, makes the legs drop. So it's
Yeah.
something else which is causing
Yeah.
those legs to
Yeah.
drop down a little bit.
I could feel that then. My breathing's much
Yeah.
better with a pull buoy, funnily enough,
Yeah.
because it's just I can concentrate on the breathing a bit more, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah. And we get you to use fins.
Yeah.
When we work on the breathing,
Yeah.
get you to put some fins
Yeah.
on, and then you get a load of propulsion for free.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to work very hard and you absolutely fly.
Yeah.
And then you can really think about what you're doing with that breath.
Yeah.
And the problem with getting in each time and swimming a mile like you do
Yeah.
is the first 6 lengths, 8 lengths might be okay when you're fresh, and then you'll start getting tired, and you actually start. What most people start to do is they start swimming quite sloppily,
Yeah.
and you just get into the end. You're just thrashing it out, and you just
Yeah.
get into the end.
Yeah.
So what's much better when you're working on stroke is doing lots and lots of intervals. So 25s, 50s, maybe 100s, but even 100s is a long way. With fairly short rest.
Yeah.
So come back, have a rest, compose yourself. Right, I'm going to go again. And you've got to say to yourself at the end of the session, how many good quality lengths have I done today?
Yeah.
Genuinely. You know when you first get in and you go, oh, I feel bloody great today.
Yeah.
The first couple of lengths,
Yeah.
because you're fresh,
Yeah.
you've got loads of air in your body, and most people feel pretty good for the first
Yeah.
couple of lengths. You want to feel like that again and again and again and again and again, rather than starting to, your breath starts to go.
Get ragged.
Yeah, and what happens when you hold your breath is you get a build-up of CO2 in your system.
Yeah.
You don't get the air in and out, you're not getting the oxygen you need, you get a build-up of CO2, and it can cause you to feel kind of slightly short of breath and tight-chested, and a little bit anxious.
Yeah.
And a lot of people suffer from that in the open water as well, because they
Yeah.
they get a bit tight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
really important. So,
Yeah.
I've hardly looked at you yet, but okay, so let's just play this through. So here's that hand kind of overtaking the head here. So your head should be back in. It's still pointing the other way. It's still breathing towards the side of the pool
Oh,
there.
okay.
So that's the timing of the stroke out a little bit. The right hand side. I don't mind this recovery actually. I quite like. If you look at a lot of our swimmers, you see Jake straight arm recovery.
Yeah.
Anita
Straight
over
on,
there.
isn't it? Yeah.
Anita over there in lane 3.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Like
So,
a windmill type,
Yeah.
more of a approach. Yeah.
but as long as they catch the water effectively underneath, then that's absolutely fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Windmills are fine as long as you
Yeah.
catch some
Yeah.
water. Is he doing his test, is he?
122.
First 100, dear. Okay, let's have a look here. See, actually there, if you look at that point there. So at that point there, your heels are on the surface, even though just off the screen
Yeah.
there. Your bum's on the surface, your head's on the surface, and the hand looks nice. That looks really nice. Okay,
Yeah.
now. Here's your catch. Is pulling down
Straight.
straight.
Yeah.
So if I show you, Rebecca Adlington, just so as you can visualise. I'm
Yeah.
not suggesting you swim like her, but just so as you
Yeah.
can see, just so as you can see the catch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So she kind of her hand is actually a little bit higher. If
Yeah.
I was coaching her, I'd get her to have it a bit more like yours actually, because she's got a little bit of a high hand, and then you can see she's right at the front.
She moved.
Engages that catch, even with the hand, just the hand at the
By
front.
moving her, by effectively
Yeah.
bending her wrist like
Yeah,
that.
and it's like
Yeah.
a chain reaction. Her elbow is out, whereas yours looks like still right. Have a look to the side. So it's out, and it's because she's really flexible in the shoulders, and this is where we have to adapt it for you.
Yeah.
Because you won't be as flexible as she
No.
is. I'm not. She can extend out and still get. I mean, Christ, if you put your arm out forwards and try and get over the top, you can feel it all down here.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a very difficult position to get
Yeah.
into. So what people like you and I have to do is do the same thing, but we come in deeper, get over the top.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay? That's
yeah.
all we need to do. Otherwise, if you try and go in shallow, you end up dropping the elbow
Yeah.
and pulling down straight.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then what we see, and this is what I'm trying. That's what I was trying to explain
Yeah.
to you before, is the elbow stays where it is. and the forearm comes like, it goes like that, but it's out front. It's out front. Look how far in front of her it is. It's out front. It's not back here. She's extending forwards and putting that up, and we call it an early vertical forearm.
Okay. So she's not bringing the elbow back. She's sort of doing.
Yeah, so she's extending forward. Imagine extending forward in front of the shoulder, pushing down. That hand goes straight down like a paddle.
Yeah.
And then as she rotates, it pushes back past her. It's a bit difficult to do when you're sat there because you're straight.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
this is all done with rotation,
Yeah.
which gives you the length.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's now pushing back with all the upper arm, lower arm, and the hand. Push, 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 and then even back here, she's still pushing back. Push,
Yeah.
push, push, all the way back out. And then the other starts on the other side.
Yeah.
And you can see it really nice there. That position is
Yeah.
what we're looking for.
Yeah.
So if you look at yourself here, it just kind of comes down straight.
Yeah.
Comes down straight. Now, I don't think at the moment that, well, there's a couple of things. I think that will adjust once we play with your timing of your stroke and work on a couple of other things which I'm going to talk about now. We have to attack this in the right order. Because what we can see here is that we've got it straight, and then it becomes what we call a little bit elbow led, where it kind of pushes back this way.
Yeah.
And that's effectively sliding back through the water.
Yeah.
You're getting a little bit of push there,
Yeah.
and it's the same on this side, look, because especially when you're breathing away from this hand, it just kind of slides out.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been trying, probably wrongly. I've been trying to feel like I am moving my elbow back, and that's wrong, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to feel to keep it high. I'm trying to feel as though I'm keeping it high, but that's not right, is it?
Yeah.
So
The elbow's high, but you've got to go like that first,
yeah.
and then you push back.
Yeah, 'cause then you can feel the engagement in your back muscles then, can't you?
Yeah.
Differently.
So you should be using your chest and your
Yeah,
back,
yeah,
not your
yeah.
shoulders.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's where you'll feel it, and that's what gets you injured.
Yeah.
If you
yeah.
overwork the shoulders, it can cause you
Yeah.
problems. So, straight arm pull through.
Yeah.
Let's just play this through. I'm not too concerned about the kick. Kick's all right. Very often the kick is just reacting to what's happening at the front
Yeah.
of the stroke. So if your
Yeah.
legs split or anything like
Yeah.
that, it's normally because they're just sensing an imbalance.
Yeah.
For yourself, you're not going to be a kicker.
No.
There's no point doing much on the kick, as long as there's no major faults with the kick, which there aren't.
Yeah.
And you can see just the straight arms have come back a little bit here.
Yeah.
So ideally, that hand would be more like there.
Wow.
So if you pulled through, so your hand should be below your shoulder as you pull through.
Oh.
So it's a lot further out. And it's a bit like a lever. If you're pulling through here, it comes from here. If you're pulling through like this, it comes from the chest and back, as we just
So you
said.
the hand should be going under the body, really.
The hand should be, yeah. And the body kind of rotates out the way as you come through.
Okay. Oh, so it's I've got two big, massive paddles out here, haven't I?
So you're out, you're
Yeah.
out wide.
Yeah.
So ideally, the way you want to think about it is the hands, as they enter the water. Now, we'll talk about the recovery in a minute.
Yeah.
But say you swing the arms around the outside,
Yeah.
swing the arms out the side. They come to rest at the right depth for you,
Yeah.
in front of the shoulder.
Yeah.
That's where they should be.
Yeah.
Not like that,
Yeah.
like this. Because then you go straight into a catch. And that hand, so it's finished in front of the shoulder,
Yeah.
that hand then comes down and pulls through beneath the shoulder still, pushes back. So the shoulder is where the alignment is. We don't want to be going, particularly you're breathing, you're going
Yeah.
like
Go-
that.
Yeah.
So you slide and then you
I
slip.
feel like I'm going really in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way, I mean, I'll send you the doggy paddle. Pardon? Yeah. The doggy paddle drill. I don't know if you've seen that one where.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
idea with that is exactly this: is that you work. Imagine you've got the black line there.
Yeah.
The black line's up the middle, in between your hands here,
Yeah.
and you're constantly working on this action, practicing this position beneath the shoulders here. And that's where you'll get your propulsion from.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
right. So, what I'm coming to in a minute is at your breath, and then look at your breathing. So you've taken a breath there. This arm is coming down straight because you're spending too long breathing, which is what I mentioned before. Your head should be back in by now. So you've taken a breath, there's nothing coming out there. There's little bits coming out, but I suspect what's going to happen is when you turn to breathe here,
It's all going to come out. Yeah.
It all comes out.
It felt like that. Yeah.
and actually I can see it as you turn.
I know.
You can see the water go.
I can feel it. Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
and that has an impact, as with any sport. Breathing, you've got to get the breathing right. Number one,
Yeah.
it's got to be spend some time on that. Right, so I'll go through how we're going to do that in a minute. So from above, then. Here we go. Breathing, breathing, breathing. There's the breath coming out.
Yeah.
You over rotate on that side, so
Yeah.
your legs go on top of each other. That's because of your breathing again. It's just throwing your stroke out.
Yeah.
Okay. This lead arm goes early because you're spending too long on your side.
Yeah.
It's all related to the same thing. And then this hand has to overtake the head because the head shouldn't be there. Your body's all over rotated in out of position. So that has to
Yeah.
bend its way round to get
Yeah.
back into the right place.
Yeah.
And then that just kind of hangs there a little bit. Just splitting the legs here. What they do is they're sensing a stall.
Okay.
So what happens is it's called a kickstart. So when the hand sits at the front, it doesn't
Yeah.
get into an effective catch. The body senses the slowdown and then tries to give you a big kick to push you through the dead spot.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason those legs are splitting there.
Yeah.
The other hand is swinging around the side, and you get you're a little bit kind of banana shaped
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think we can sort a lot of these things out. Yeah. Now,
Yeah. It looks different to how you think it would look.
yeah, so play
It's all
full
over the
speed.
place.
So your stroke rate is 50, 51, 50, 51, 52, something
Yeah.
like that. Should be more like in the 60s.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think you'll feel completely different if we can get that up. And we get your stroke rate up, not by saying get your stroke rate up and swim faster, turn the arms over. What we do is make adjustments to your breathing and to your recovery,
Yeah.
which will then lead to your stroke rate going up. So we do it by fixing things in the stroke. This is the same. We've seen this already from the other side. Really, it's nothing.
It all looks
new
very
there.
straight. Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'll show you. If I show you. Okay, let's do it another way. This is a new computer, and all the apps have stopped bloody working. So if I show you Sally instead. So this is how. So I think. So she's swinging around the outside edge. Oh, blimey, 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 blimey.
That's quick stroke rate.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
What is going on here? Let's do it this way, do it manually.
Yeah.
Too much bloody technology.
Yeah.
Right, so swinging around the outside edge, But if you look at where her hand enters, it enters wider than the shoulder.
Yeah.
Because what happens then is she's still rotated, is the body continues to rotate, and then the hand actually settles in the correct position it should do, in front of the shoulder.
Okay.
What you're doing is you're actually entering at the shoulder.
Okay.
You want to be coming in a little bit wider.
Okay. Yeah.
Same on the other side. In fact, she's coming in front of the shoulder there as well, actually, there. But you need to be swimming much more of a turnover at that kind of rate.
So I feel like you're coming in from the
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
So if you look at her arms underneath the water there, and this is what I was talking about before, so pulling through beneath the shoulder, there.
So if you feel like your hand's going straight,
Yeah.
well, then your elbow will go out automatically, won't it? I
Yeah.
guess.
So,
So if
yeah,
you feel
think
like
about-
you're doing that.
Yeah. So the best thing to do for you is think about those hands. Think about those hands pushing down. So entering the water, pushing down towards the belly button.
Okay, so feel like you're almost coming in,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
so that'll bend the elbow.
Yeah. So, and you kind of use the thumb as a guide. So the hand comes in a little bit thumb first over the wide side,
Yeah.
a little bit wider. So it comes around the side, thumb first, and then as soon as the hand enters the water, you think, right, thumb to elbow. Okay. And what will actually happen is by the time you rotate, it'll naturally go just past the hip, but it'll pull it in this kind of angle here.
Oh, so when you say thumb to elbow, you mean
So, I'm sorry, thumb to belly button. Mate.
thumb
Sorry.
to belly?
Yeah.
Thumb to, okay, yeah. So you're thinking about the hands,
Yeah.
sorts the elbow out, as it
Yeah.
were. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because everyone knows when they're swimming, everyone knows where the thumb is, everyone knows where the belly button is,
Yeah.
and that's why we use those.
Yeah,
You
okay.
you naturally know where you're headed with the hand. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But what we need to do first of all with you, I don't know where Claire's come from, she's popped up for some reason, is we need to do some breathing work. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to do some sink down drills. You might have seen these on the Swim Smooth
Oh,
website.
yeah. Yeah.
You use tread water and you get used to exhaling, and you should sink. You should sink to the bottom. Okay, so you need to get used to blowing out in the water
Yeah.
Okay.
Fully.
Yeah. So do a few sink downs, and I'm going to pop some fins on you,
Yeah.
and I'm going to get you to breathe in, and you're going to go. Brrr. You know, you probably read the bubble breathe. It's in the
Yeah. Breathe, bubble.
But that's
When
breathing every 3, which you're not very
I've
happy
been
with.
I've been trying to get on the other side, and if I do, I feel like
Yeah.
I'm just sinking.
Okay, so we'll breathe every 2, like you
yeah.
are.
Yeah.
But we'll breathe in, and we're going to go. Breathe in, and making that noise. Well, first, just 2 things. First of all, you remember to do it because you're looking for the noise each time. But making that noise requires you to breathe out
Yeah.
into the water.
Okay.
We'll do it with fins on, so you can really think about what you're doing. And the next thing we're going to do with you is we're going to look at your head position.
Yeah.
So breathing and head position first
Yeah.
of all, because let's see if we can find it here. You look a long way forwards.
Look. Yeah. Rather, should I be down at the bottom of the pool?
Yeah, well what we'll do is we do a little experiment where we get you to swim with 4 lengths with 4 different head positions. So looking forwards like you are there,
Yeah.
looking 45 degrees, looking straight down, and then looking a little bit backwards. And you see how it makes you feel and
Okay.
how easy it is for you to breathe. And I have a look, and also, see how it makes you feel. And I'll have a look at your body position,
Okay.
because it may well be that just a little bit of a tweak is enough to get. You go like that, stick your head in, your bum will come up. But there's a tipping point where it becomes inefficient. So,
Okay.
and again, it's different for different people. So
Okay.
we'll do some head position work, okay? And then what I'm going to do with you is I'm going to get you to spear in deeper. Simple as that. Spear in deeper, which will shorten your stroke.
So when you say rather than feeling like I'm doing that,
Yeah.
feeling like I'm doing that.
Yeah. So what you want to think about it is don't think of it as like that.
Yeah.
You're not. You're going to come in like that.
Oh, I'm going to go in from the outside like
You're coming
that.
in, yeah. So
and
you're
then
coming in
thumb
sideways,
belly button,
and then into the catch.
Yeah. Yeah.
In, catch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what we don't want you to do, it won't work for you, is the spearing in long. It's just not going to work. So yeah, very much it's in, catch, when you will get some length because you'll be rotating with it,
Yeah.
but you're not going to go like that. You're not
Yeah.
going to extend out the front.
Okay.
Okay. So breathing, head position, and then we're going to do some manual work with the fins on, maybe pull buoy as well. We'll see. Sorry, not as well. Pull buoy instead.
Yeah.
And do some manual adjustments just to get used to turn those arms over a little bit quicker
Okay.
and come in a bit deeper. So that will help with the body position. It'll help with the lifting the head up,
Yeah.
which will also help with the body position.
Yeah.
And it will also affect the catch and improve the catch because
Yeah.
you'll be coming in at a better angle.
Yeah.
Okay. There's nothing else that we really need to do apart from that. There are three big things. Three is more than enough to get on with for now, because swimming just blows your mind if you think about too much stuff. You got to keep it simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's it. That should be enough for us to get stuck into
Okay.
for today.
Yeah.
Now, what size shoe are you?
13. Big.
Right. Okay. I'll have to nip out to the van and get some big fins.
Biggest you've got.
Big. Roll out the special fins.
Yeah.
I'll bring them. I think they've got some blue ones. They've got up to 12, and we've got some green ones. But we guess no one's going to be bigger than 12. We won't need the big ones.
I could probably squeeze